The Quiet Room is shut down in Uncanny Inhumans issue 6. On the gaming room floor of the Quiet Room, the two boxers fight it out as Black Bolt watches on. Inside his office, the Enelux leader accuses Black Bolt of stealing his antigen serum. Rita interjects, having dealt with them before, but the Enelux leader says he wants nothing to do with him, seeing as Rita killed the Enelux boss, the Capo. As Flagman splits up Black Bolt's men to deal with the poker game between the leader and Mad Thinker and the theft of the antigen, he goes to deal with the two boxers outside on the club floor. Going down to the floor, the two boxers continue to fight, unaware of Black Bolt's presence. He steps between them, stopping their fight dead in their tracks. But both boxers don't know who he is, calling him a little man and not realizing he is the owner of the club. The boxers' manager tries to warn them, but they destroy one of Black Bolt's signs. Elsewhere, Flagman asks Medusa if they should help Black Bolt, but she says he has it under control and they have other arrangements. As Medusa and Flagman head to find Ahura, the Enelux leader confronts them, asking why they aren't doing anything to help him. Back in New Attilan, Irel interviews Frank McGee, Medusa's chief of security and ex-detective. On his last mission, Irel's mother Aran was killed and Frank was the last one to see her. Before Frank can get into the details about the mission, his phone goes off, alerting him to a problem at the Quiet Room. As he leaves, Irel calls her sister Trest, who is also at the Quiet Room talking to Lita, warning her about Frank's arrival. In the gambling hall, a shield has been put around Lita and Mad Thinker while they continue their game of one-upsmanship, so no one will disturb them. Iso goes into the shield, telling them that she wants to set up a new game to test their intelligence. Lita and Mad Thinker agree to their terms. Starting the game, the questions become more and more complex and begin to confuse the two men. Flagman checks on Ahura, who is alone in the dining room. Once he leaves, Ahura projects a ghost of himself to talk with. Outside, Black Bolt stops the two boxers, taking the championship belt as payment. Iso manages to stop the Mad Thinker and Leader, turning them into idiots thanks to her ability stopping blood flow to their brains, making them think less. Frank arrives at the club, meeting Rita. Frank is surprised to see Trest and wants to know what Rita is doing with her. He tells Rita that Trest is only 16 years old, making Rita stammer, saying that he's never did anything with her. The Enelux leader rushes over, demanding that Frank search the area for his antigen. In the Upper West Side, Phantomel and Culpepper wait for the person who told them to steal the antigen. The Capo arrives, dumping a bag of money in front of them. He says that he will not rest until Black Bolt, Medusa, and the whole Inhuman race are dead. So yeah, this is a pretty cool issue of Inhumans. Bit more about the Quiet Room. That wasn't really too quiet this issue. A lot kind of happened, and really it kind of, for me, like, while this issue was good, it kind of felt weird because there was so many different storylines going on. So like literally each panel had to cut to a different storyline, because we had like the Black Bolt versus the Boxers, we had this Enelux employee looking for his antigen, we had the whole thing with Rita and Trest and Frank and Trest's sister, and we had Medusa stuff, and then we had Ahura stuff. You know, it kind of felt a little bit too much in this issue, and I guess that also sort of plays into what the story was. Like the Quiet Room, they just thought, oh, we'll just go for a quiet night out. Like all this stuff starts to happening, so at one point it's good, and another point it doesn't really feel that good, because there's only one issue. You know, these are storylines that could go over a couple of issues. You didn't need to like kind of introduce most of them in this issue. But other than that, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm interested to see what the deal is with this Capo, since I'm not too familiar with the whole Enelux situation and everything, and Rita said he killed the guy, so obviously he's back, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what's gonna happen there. Other than that, pretty cool issue. I really liked it, except for all the stories bogging it down. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.